first time that I saw Prabhupada was a picture of Prabhupada. It was on the back of the Chintamani album. I visited these two people had moved into a little cottage behind the farm I was living in upstate New York, and I went to be neighborly and say hi to them, and they invited me in, gave me some tea, and there was some music playing, and I said, oh, that's nice. They said, oh yeah, it's this guru, and they showed me this guru, Prabhupada, and they showed me his picture on the Chintamani album, and he was smiling, and they said he's really high. I go, yeah, he sounds like he's really, spiritual. And then they turned the album over and they said, and this is God. They said, he's got his own planet. And I thought, yeah, that I like that idea. And so that was the first time I saw Prabhupada's face. And at that point I was interested in what was happening, so I went and bought a Bhagavad-gita. I remember in New York, he said, even if a drunk man, I guess somehow we were saying, I guess Prabhupada was in the Bowery area there when he first came. He said, even if a drunk man in the Bowery, he may have said Bowery, I don't remember exactly how he said that. He said, even if he sips wine and he says, oh, Krishna makes the nice taste of this wine. He said, even if he does that, he will achieve perfection eventually, if he has that attitude. So that was, One time in New York, we ran out of white flour for the feast, and I had to make samosas. I had already cooked up all the cauliflower and the peas, and we had the filling was all done. And I go to look, and there's no white flour. So I made it with whole wheat flour, which just quite doesn't work, I can't get it to be flaky, but I made them anyways. So the Maha went up to Prabhupada, and Shruti Kirti was Prabhupada's servant at the time. And so I was waiting anxiously in the kitchen, and there was that little stairway in the back that came right from Prabhupada's quarters into the kitchen. And he came back down with a tray of the Maha, And I said, so, did he say anything? I said, what did he say about the samosas, He said, well, he took one up and he took a bite of it and he said, Sudam Swami makes nice samosas. And I said, oh, okay, so that's his cue, who I'm supposed to go talk to if I want to make nice samosas. So it was a nice way of, giving me instruction without criticizing. We had the idea of playing songs for Krishna. I was in the road show, and we were playing songs and music and that kind of thing. And it just started off that I found this guitar in the basement of the temple I was in Columbia. And I asked the devotee if it'd be okay if I used it during the kirtans, and he said, sure. So I did that. And then while I was up in Detroit, there was a guitar there in the boiler room where the brahmacharis used to sleep. And I was sitting there, and I picked it up, and I wrote this song, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which was just quotes from the Bhagavad-gita. And I made a song out of it. And Kirtananda heard it, and he really liked it. So when he started doing different lectures, he had me come along and sing the song, and then also play while they chanted. And that was kind of the birth of the road show. It started off as a little project like that, and we did that, and it was quite nice. And then later on in Los Angeles, after the road show was dissolved as far as a musical presentation, I got the idea of making a record of devotional tunes to distribute to people, let them hear about Krishna. So Krishna Kanti and I started putting that together, and we came up with a little demo of several songs, And Prabhupada came one day to chant. He was going to do this taping, and so we recorded him, and he was done his recording. And he was getting up to leave, and I was really nervous because I wanted to ask him about these songs. So I went up to him with I had the songs in my hand. I said, Prabhupada, I have these songs I want you to hear. And he looked at me, and he grabbed them, and then he sat back down. And then I hope you can edit this stuff out. Okay. So anyways.
It happens, let me tell you, it happens all the time. You're not the first.
Okay. But I think I'm just, you know, the thing that's, you know, I guess that moves me is that he sat back down, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the fact that he sat back down to listen to what I had to say. So, I gotta get past that. But yeah, so anyways, at the time, I wasn't crying. I was just, you know, just afraid, probably. But he sat back down. He put the songs on a little thing there. And I have a photograph of myself, you know, shaved up, you know. Somebody, I don't know who took that photo. Maybe Bhagavad did. And so anyways, yeah, and he's looking at the lyrics, and I'm sitting there. And so anyways, we played You're Not That Body from Change Your Heart. It was a little different than we ended up on the record, you know. It was, so anyways, so we listened to that. And then we played, what was the other one? Bhagavad-gita. And I think that's what we did. We just kind of did that and went through it, you know. And he sat and he listened, and he seemed to like what he was hearing, you know. And he said, so, something like that. And I said, well, you know, I said, some of the big men don't think this is such a good idea. And he said, sometimes you have to let cows moo. That's what he said, you know. And then he said, do it, it'll be successful. And that's the end of the story, you know. It's just, he gave it a blessing, and so.
Je anilo